Team today, Robbie?
Well, we're going to see this all today where teams are going to make a lot of changes. 5 changes. Crystal Palace, of course, 2 games in 3 days is really tough on the players, so lots of rotation there. And 3 of the back 4 are new for this game. The only player that remains is Checo Kouyaté, who's actually a midfield player that's done a great job as a central defender for the team. Changes again in midfield. Riedewald comes in, midfielder player alongside Milivojevic. Schlupp will go from the right side to the left side. Same shape as normal with Palace. Andros Townsend comes in the right side of midfield, but the front 2 are unchanged from Boxing Day. Christian Benteke and Wilf Zaha start up front.
So Roy Hodgson saying the team needs to, quote, look ourselves in the mirror. His thoughts today.
Roy, wholesale changes for you from the Aston Villa side, particularly in defence. Was that the key area for improvement for you?
Well, obviously, when you've let in as many goals as we have in the last 2 games, the defence is a key area for improvement, but I wouldn't put that down just the back 4. It's more a case, basically, of having players that, you know, have got fresh legs, can take the place of the 3 players who are not playing and do what I think is going to be a very similar job to the job the other 3 were doing. So it hasn't been provoked by the results, those change of back line. It's been provoked by the fact that we've got the luxury to have players who can go in and retain, if you like, the level I'm looking for.
As for Leicester, very comfortable on the road. Have won 6 of their 7 away matches this year. Their team news today, Danny.
Well, they also make a number of changes. In fact, Brendan Rodgers makes 7 changes with only Schmeichel, Justin, Evans and Barnes remaining in the starting 11, which means top goal scorer Vardy drops to the bench. Thomas and Justin in the full-back positions will give the width against the narrow Palace team. In midfield, both Chowdhury and Mendy will sit, but there is a lack of creativity between the 2. So therefore, Perez, Pratt and Barnes will be tasked with creating for frontman Iheanacho. Only 4 players in the starting 11 today have a Premier League goal this season.
Brendan Rodgers, that club is in the mix once again. His comments on today's challenge.
Brendan, a lot of changes, I think as expected, 7 in total. Yeah. Can you talk us through those?
Yeah, just naturally, obviously the closeness of the games. We get 1 or 2 players that obviously aren't fit. So James Maddison just, reoccurrence of his knee, should be okay for the weekend. But just the games, the proximity of the games is too quick for him. Jamie's obviously had an issue with his groin area, so that normally takes a few days to recover. So naturally, he wasn't able to go again so fast. And Wesley Fofana has had an ongoing issue with his knee. So again, the proximity of the games wouldn't allow us to play him. So he's obviously not in the squad. But also, I trust my squad. I've done it all season, and between league and European games, and like I say, we have a team that we think can get a good result for us.
It's halftime thanks to Volkswagen. First to 3 games today for you. Still looking for our first goal of the day. Leicester a chance to move just 1 point behind Liverpool with a win today. They're even with Crystal Palace after the first 45 minutes. Robbie Mustoe, Danny Higginbotham, Ahmed Fareed. It's been an entertaining first half. No goals to show for it so far, but certainly plenty of action. Art Geico, first half highlights. And Danny, we begin with perhaps Crystal Palace lucky to be playing with a full squad still.
Yeah, in my opinion, 100%. It doesn't look too much there, the chance from Milivojevic, but when you see it again, for me it's a red card. Simple as that. Graham Scott, the referee, doesn't see it or doesn't think it is, and VAR Rob Jones doesn't give anything either. And then Chowdhury looks to get his own back on Milivojevic with a late challenge. And just see again here, you're going to get this in midfield areas, but like I say, Milivojevic very, very fortunate to still be on the pitch. Haven't seen the replay and the tenacity and the impact of it. And then Leicester, they end up getting the penalties. Good play from Luke Thomas down the left-hand side. He's brought down by Tompkins, and this was a theme as the game started to go on. We're seeing it's a clear penalty here. Leicester and Palace both using the wide areas and looking to get crosses into the box. And then Iheanacho steps up, has a little bit of a stutter, and then takes it. And it's a comfortable enough save.
Maybe it should have been better executed.
Yeah, perhaps it would look a little different if Jamie Vardy were starting. Yeah. He's on the bench. Probably going to see him here in the second half. You guys both noting something there in the first half. We're seeing a lot of the action as we watch it on TV on the far side of the field there, Danny.
Yeah, basically, I think both teams are defending very narrow. So down the left-hand side for Palace with Mitchell and Schlupp, they're getting some joy going down, and vice versa coming down Leicester's right-hand side, Justin and Perez. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that evolves, how that opens up, because as Robbie's just shown there, the majority of the best chances have come from both teams using the width well, which is where the space is, and then get crosses into the box.
Thought it might happen coming into the game. A lot of changes, 7 for Leicester City. Yeah. Are you disappointed with Crystal Palace that they haven't taken advantage of that?
Yeah. And listen, I know the last 2 games they've been hammered 7-0 and 3-0, so I understand that. But given Leicester's team, there's 7 changes. With Palace being so passive, standing off the game from the start, allowing Leicester to get on the ball. I'd love it. I would love it if I go there and the teams are standing off. And, you know, I haven't played for a little while with some of these Leicester players. I can get on the ball. I can play wide. The fullbacks can get forward, as Danny just described. So I know it's not Roy Hodgson's way, but I'd love to see him having a bit more of a go. Be a little bit more aggressive. Be a little bit, not with flying elbows, but be a little bit more aggressive. Get into their boots a little bit more and try and get in the front foot and put pressure on Leicester. Ask some more questions. It's been too comfortable for Leicester.
Too comfortable. What we've had is opportunity.
And Brendan decided to rest some of his stars. Brendan's almost got off the hook a little bit because he's not going to get criticised too much because they go away from home and they nick a point. But you'd have to say, for Roy Hodgson, he would have took that before the game.
Yeah, considering, as we said, 10 goals conceded in the last 2 games, he would have hoped his team would have held on for the 3 points. But was that better from Crystal Palace?
It was better. It was more of a Roy Hodgson performance, one that he will have been comfortable with. He will probably admit that they got away with it in the first half and say we could have been a goal down, maybe 2. But in the second half, I think they managed to implement their game plan better than Leicester tired and found it hard to find them pockets. One of the few times that Harvey Barnes did find one of those pockets was the opportunity for the goal, and he scored.
OK, well, during the match, and I'm sure you've all been reading on social media as well, that the late game has been cancelled. Manchester City have released this statement that this game has been postponed following a Premier League board meeting. So the Premier League statement reads like this. Manchester City lodged a request with the Premier League today to rearrange the game following an increase in COVID-19 test results received by the club this morning. On top of the cases reported on Christmas Day, the rise has created uncertainty and the Premier League board received medical advice that the match should be postponed. The board agreed to rearrange the game as a precaution and further testing will now take place tomorrow. The decision has been taken with the health of the players and staff the priority. The Premier League continues to have full confidence in its protocols and rules and the way in which all clubs are implementing them. The league wishes those with COVID-19 a safe and speedy recovery and will rearrange the postponed fixture against Everton in due course. And in the studio here, we echo those sentiments and wish all of the Manchester City squad a safe and speedy recovery. Right, we are going to take a break, after which we'll watch for that, Simon. And once again, we wish everybody at Manchester City a very speedy recovery. OK, back to our game at Selhurst Park. Let's head straight back to the ground and get some reaction. First of all, from the Crystal Palace goalscorer, here's Wilf Zaha.
Wilf, a point and hard fought in the end. How are you feeling about that?
I'm happy, to be honest. Obviously, the last couple of games have been tough for us. So, obviously, getting a point today, I feel like we worked hard. I feel like we could have got all 3 points, but we'll take a point today.
And an 8th Premier League goal for yourself. It was a lovely finish, and you showed great strength as well to keep the ball in play, passing it out to Townsend, back on your feet again. Are you feeling good?
Yeah, I'm not trying to think about scoring too much. I'm just trying to make sure I'm playing well, really, and just make sure the chances keep on coming. So yeah, I'm happy to score my 8th goal, but it's all about the team right now.
It was commented on in commentary about you playing with a little bit of anger. Is that giving you an extra bit to your game?
It's just passion that I play with. People may see it as, I don't know, anger or whatever, but I just have passion. I love what I do, and I can't stand around and watch other teams, because when we play, we have someone up our backsides throughout the whole time, so it's like, why can't we do the same? So that's how I play every game.
And finishing the year with a point for 2020, is that good enough for you to go into the new year?
Yeah, 100%. I'll take that. Off the last results we got, the way we worked today, I'm definitely happy, and we'll take that going into the new year.
Lovely. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Wilf Zaha talking about playing with passion today. How did you view his performance today, Wrighty?
I thought it was very patchy, if we're going to be totally honest. I thought that the first half, the ball was bouncing off of him. It wasn't quite working out for him. And, I think the one shot on target, one goal says everything, So I feel that they were let off the hook by Leicester and the selection. But that's what Wilfred does for them. Wilfred Zaha does that for them. If they with the 10 goals that they've conceded in the last couple of games, you know, if you are going to be pragmatic in the way you're going to set up, he is the one you're looking for to create something. And he done it in the end. And, you know, they got something out of the game. But like, I still feel that it was a game for Leicester to win. But in the end, Palace got something out of it. And they've got to be happy with it with the last couple of results they've had.
Decent point earned for them?
Absolutely. Like I said, I think Roy Hodgson would have took that before. You know, conceding 7, them 3, you know, the calm against Leicester, flying high. He would have been delighted to see the changes Leicester have made to their team. I think it helped him out massively. But to take a point away and move on over a very congested period, I think Roy would be delighted with that.
As for Brendan Rodgers, I mean, they've gone up to second in the table, but at this point in time, the fact that he had more of a chance to close the gap on the top, he'll be disappointed, surely.
I think they missed a trick. I think that you look at the game, how the game went, who had the better opportunities, who had majority of possession, control of the game. Everything points towards a Leicester win. The fact that they went behind when they should have been ahead kind of helped Palace out no end. And so from there, I think we'll be pleased, obviously, to get back into the game, but they missed a trick in trying to be, maybe sometimes being a bit too clever. Play your best players, get the 3 points, worry about it after.
Well, let's have a look at the action from the match.